Welcome back. So for this portion of the Module 3, we're going to talk about market segmentation. And this really gets to the point of knowing your customer, knowing who your customers are and which ones are the most likely to adopt your product or services, and then be able to move to different segments after you've made the initial penetration. So the goal here is to articulate the size and the characteristics of those customers or groups that the social enterprise is focused on in the near term. So these are the people that you actually know. You understand the culture, you understand the buying habits, you understand the impedance to people buying, and so the ones you want to go after first are those that you know best and have the clearest need. So let's start a more theoretical perspective and do some market sizing. But the largest market is what we call the total addressable market, or TAM. This is the largest number that you could come up with. But it's not realistic to be able to sell to the entire total addressable market initially. So the second smaller one, I guess zeroing in here, is the served available market. So this was one where your distribution could potentially reach over a period of time, and what it might look like when your business model is actually a little more mature. And the third is the serviceable attainable market, or what we like to call the target market. And these are the people that you know best, that have a need for the product or services and have the right disposition to be able to move with a decision quickly. This is the entry point for where you'll begin to be able to market your product or service. So what about market segmentation? What does that mean to segment the market? Basically, it means to be able to categorize things in such a way that you make sense about how you can approach those people, how you appeal to them both in terms of your value of your products or services and the price points that you're able to deliver. So let's look at the variable types. The descriptor variables then are demographics. So where are they regionally? Or the socioeconomics, that is, where do they, what type of income do they have, and do they have disposable income? And in some cases, this may be additional products or service that you're bringing to the market. So do you have existing customers that you'd be able to sell into? Second is a psychological variable. So what are the attitudes of the people? What is the culture of the group that you're, what are their interests, their opinions, their lifestyle, and personalities? So for example, we were dealing with a maternal health organization in Kenya. And what the entrepreneur had to understand who made the decision, because it's a family decision. So is it the wife? Is it the wife and the husband? Is it the wife and the mother-in-law? How do those decisions get made, and how are they influenced by people that are surrounding? And then third is the product or patronage characteristics. So how is the product purchased? Is it done on specific occasions? So is it something that is related to a particular holiday or date, or the cycle of the seasons for agriculture or other things? What's the usage rate? So do they use a little bit every day, or they use it occasionally? Brand loyalty, benefits sought, and mix element sensitivity. So again, by looking at the different characteristics, you can find people within the market that you're going after that have the highest probability of being attracted to your product or service. So what then you want to do is capture for the reasons for them to adopt your product or service. Simple things like it could save them money, or it could save them time, or improves their health, or more aspirational thing, improves their status or their image. But there are always an equal number of powerful things for them not to adopt. So clearly, if the product is not desirable, or if they don't understand the benefits of the product, so why is it that it improves my life? Sometimes that there is a high upfront cost, or what we call a high hurdle rate. That is, if the upfront cost is so high that it's unreachable for me, then I won't pay for it at a time, and I may want to look at different ways of providing microfinancing or other ways of reducing the upfront cost. We've seen cases where there's been market spoilage, and what that means is that products that are similar to, or services similar to yours, have gone into the market and failed. For one reason or another, they have not performed to the satisfaction of the market, and therefore people have given up on those kinds of things. There are many examples of those. So, for example, people put in wells for water and the wells break, or there's solar products that, for one reason or another, over a period of time stop working and are unserviceable. So think about what sort of experience your market has had, and make sure that you address those objections right up front. And finally is behavior change, and this is the most complicated of all the reasons not to adopt. Because in many cases you're dealing with people whose life has been structured similarly for a long period of time, and to expect them to change their behavior just because something is new, different, and better is probably not logical, as that has to be done in such a way that they'll be able to make incremental change and receive benefits as they go. So let's use our friends at Skills Tank as a target market example. And remember, Skills Tank are the people who are doing education for rural, whatever the name of the country is. And so their segmentation definitions is the unemployed recent high school graduates was their initial target market, 15,000 opportunities. The underemployed IT administration professionals, 3,000, and people looking for flexible work environment, 2,500. And now what we're doing in this example is we're saying, well, what is the compelling reason for them to adopt, and what's the reason for them not to adopt? And in the unemployed recent high school grads, it's a short course, meaning it's time to money, which is good. It's less expensive. And the placement for this particular service with career potential is high. Of course, there are reasons to not adopt. Of course, the cost of the course, or lack of interest in IT, or lack of familiarity with the virtual work field. So again, what we're really trying to do is be able to take and say what is going to motivate them and what are the things that are going to inhibit them. And by looking at each of the different segments, you'll be able to construct a market plan and a customer acquisition plan that deals with the motivation and the objections that the customer may have. So as part of this module, you'll fill out your segment definition, the size of that particular segment, and again, the reasons for adoption and the reasons for non-adoption. That's it for this segment. We'll be back with value proposition shortly. Thank you.